A few weeks ago, my friend living overseas reached out after watching a couple of my videos. He is Nigerian but wondered whether he should go to Ghana to experience their dirty December or come home. This video summarizes my response to him, and by the end of it, you either agree with me or hate this channel forever. Welcome to the ultimate Accra versus Lagos comparison. Let's address the elephant in the room before we proceed. Yes, Nigeria and Lagos do not have reliable power supply, but it's 2024 and many parts of Ghana also do not have, so let's keep the conversations in the comment section civil. This is not me trying to pit Nigerians versus Ghanaians against each other. This is the latest installation of a series where I compare different African cities I've visited. Nigeria and Ghana are two of the most visited countries in West Africa, but the mode of tourism in these countries is very different. Most of the people that visit Nigerians have Nigerian roots, while more non-Ghanaians than ever are visiting the country. Let's talk about infrastructure in both cities. If you are Ghanaian or you haven't visited home for a while, you might not know how the state of roads are right now. My first time in Ghana was in 2018 and I was really impressed by the state of roads. I came back home and I was raving to everybody, turning around that, whoa, yo, Ghana is nice, Ghana is this, Ghana is that. But I went back in 2024 and it seems like not much progress has been made. Things are actually regressed and it really broke my heart, to be honest. In my opinion, I would say Accra has better roads than Lagos, but when it comes to rail transport, Accra and Ghana as a whole are lagging behind. There is no metro within the city, but when it comes to roads, I will have to give it to the Ghanaians on this one. The airport in Accra is fairly new and often offers a better experience than the one in Lagos, but Ghana does not have a serious private or national carrier, with African World Airline being the only airline to offer international flights, and they only offer international flights to Nigeria as of December 2024. Now to Lagos. Lagos, Nigeria is a bit of a conundrum. Roads in the cities are often on two extreme ends. You go to some places where the roads are 10 out of 10 and you go to some places where you can't be convinced that there is to be a road there. So I would give Accra the title of having better roads. More investments have been made into rail transport, both nationally and within the city. The Lagos Metro now has 2 lines and you can travel multiple times a day to other cities in southwestern Nigeria. The roads still leave much to be desired, but baby steps as always. The Lagos International Airport has 2 terminals. Once again, a case of 2 extremes. The old terminal is really tired while the new one is too small and wasn't planned well. If it were Accra versus Abuja, I would give Abuja the award for roads, but I can't in all honesty say that Lagos has better roads than Accra. While you're here, you should consider subscribing to our channel and liking this video. It really helps with the algorithm and tells YouTube that you like content like this. What do I love the most about Accra? Ghana is the country that I've visited more than any other in the world. It was my first country in 2018 and something just keeps drawing me back into the country. Oftentimes I'll book tickets to other countries and then for some reason we'll have a stopover in Accra, Ghana. Whenever I try to avoid it, Ghana always just pulls me back. Ghana and Nigeria are quite similar to home. I remember my first time being in the country. It seemed like the same country with just some accent changes. If I were teleported there, I wouldn't have known that I was in a new country. It feels like home without all the baggage that comes with living in modern day Nigeria, which is a welcome change. And I have lots of friends that are Ghanaians. I met them while they were still in Ghana, but almost everybody I know has left the country, and those that haven't are on the verge of leaving. So my people in Ghana always come through for me. At the end of the day, it's my first love beyond my country. So shout out to Ghana. What do I love about Lagos? Obviously, I was born and raised in Lagos, but moved out as a teenager to another city in Nigeria for university and all. And during the more than half a decade that I spent in that other city, I really grew as a person. And when I moved back to Lagos in 2023, it felt very different. I had spent the first few years of my adulthood as a visitor or foreigner in Lagos, and now I had moved back. I felt like a fraud. I felt like, what am I doing here? I did not fit in anymore. So 2024 was the year I got to experience Lagos like a tourist. I was like, if I'm going to feel like a visitor, why don't I just do visitor stuff? It's always going to be home and you have to love it because there's a bit of everything. Whatever you are looking for, you'll find it, and whatever is looking for you will find you. Lagos is imperfect, no argument about that, but we need to do our part to improve it. As a society, we are not doing our best to maintain the integrity and environment of our city, and we need to do better, to be honest. Lagos is insane and I would have it no no other way. Let's say you are a non-West African planning to visit either Nigeria or Ghana, and you are on the fence on which to visit. English is the lingua franca in Ghana, and Ghanaians always brag about speaking the best English in Africa, or one of the best. So if you are an English speaker and you visit, you should get by more often than not, especially in the big cities with speaking just English. Beyond that, there are lots of local languages, predominantly Twi, especially if you're in Accra. I'm not going to go into the others because I don't want to cause an ethnic battle in the comment section, but there's Twi and others. There's also Ghanaian Pidgin English, which is some people call it a bastardized form of English, but I call it Ghanaians just taking English and making it theirs. And then there's Ghanaian English. If you're Ghanaian, you will know what I'm talking about. It's a bit of regular English sprinkled with Pidgin English and your local language. It makes sense to the people that speak all the languages, and it works fine. On the other hand, Nigeria is not the easiest country to visit if you are not West African, and I'm fairly confident that the people in power do not actually want anybody to visit. I have tried to get some of my friends out to Nigeria, and the visa process is incredible. Oh my god, it shouldn't be that. But if you somehow find a way in Nigeria, speaking English in the major cities should be just fine. There are lots of languages in Nigeria, so there's no one language that you learn that would really help you in everywhere, but speaking just English is fine. If you are going to Lagos, which I'm fairly confident you are, Yoruba is the most spoken local language there, but due to the cosmopolitan nature of the city, lots of languages are spoken here. Next up, we have Nigerian Pidgin English. If you listen to Nigerian songs, you've definitely had Nigerian Pidgin English, and some people just call it Nigerian English because it is Nigerian English. Similar to Ghanaian Pidgin English, some people call it bastardized, but I feel it was just Nigerians, the local people, taking ownership of your language. Yeah, you forced us to learn your language, but what we're about to do with it, you won't even be able to believe it. If you're still here, then you and I know that you are obviously enjoying the video or gaining some value from it. So why don't you just subscribe and like? Thank you very much as you do. There is more to Ghana than just Accra, and although this is the primary entry point for most people that come to this country, Kumasi is technically an international airport, but with no scheduled international flights. Can we really call it that? When you go to Ghana, you'll be doing yourself a disservice if you fail to go to other parts of the country. Kumasi is the second largest city, and if you can, you definitely should. There are daily flights for multiple airlines and their buses, and if you are Ghanaian going there, obviously your family can help you arrange that. Cape Coast is somewhere always advisable to go, not because of the city per se, but because of the value you get. As a young person going to Ghana for the first time, if you fail to go to the slavery installations, then why are you in Ghana? There are national parks that you can check out, do some research on, and visit, but then resort towns across the coasts and on the largest lake in the country are also worth looking at. There is more to do in Nigeria beyond Lagos, but the last decade and a half has made it quite tricky for many people to freely travel within the country. But if you are a returning Nigeria coming for the holidays and your family is down, you guys can go back to your hometown. I always advise people, go back to your hometown, or go to your hometown for the first time, because a lot of us have not actually been there before. Abuja is the country's capital and one of my favorite cities in Africa, not because of it's in Nigeria. It's just well done. If you can, definitely visit Abuja, or you might even be coming into the country through Abuja. Although technically in Lagos, I believe everybody coming to the country should go to Badagry to learn more about slavery's awful history in the country. While in Lagos, Ilashe has grown to be the resort and party town within Lagos, but not within the core of the city. So Ilashe waterways, you know what to do. As we slowly wrap up this video, you should consider joining our channel as a member or supporting our videos with super thanks. It means a lot and costs as little as $1. Thank you very much. Nigeria and Ghana are always going at it on the internet, but there's no denying that both countries and their citizens are frenemies. For the most part, it's friendly banter, and if you'd like to find out firsthand, try to get between both, especially on Twitter. You'd see the power that these two countries have when they are not busy fighting each other. Nigerians and Ghanaians cannot stand each other, but they also cannot live without each other. Evil twins. As mentioned during the video's this intro, I promise to give you a compromise. If you're Nigerian or Ghanaian, why don't you consider doing both? You can route your flight in such a way whereby you have a couple days layover in Lagos or Accra, or when you are in Ghana or Nigeria, just take a flight to the other country, have the time of your life, and come back. If you have the money, then you definitely should. But word of advice, tickets are quite pricey, especially by European standards. If you are used to paying for 20 euro tickets, you'll be shocked by how much we pay for 45 minutes flights. On to the next video. Your friend from the Ukodo YouTube channel wishes you love, peace, and prosperity.